Yeah, yeah, love brands. Thank you guys for joining us today. Unafraid. I'm back today with Joey Heim at Joey Heim, Haim. You can find him on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere else. We all woke up today with very heavy hearts surrounding what happened in Las Vegas, and we thought that today, you know, as it relates to sports and all the other things that we talk about, that, you know, Unafraid is about talking about the things that matter to us, that matter in this country, that matter on our hearts and minds, that we talk about every single day. And so what we know is the same thing that you guys have known, that Stephen Paddock, 64-year-old man from Mesquite, that he opened up.
I hate when we give the guy's name. I know we have to. I hate because that's what they want, notoriety, and we just gave it to him. But yeah, you got to report it.
So he opened fire from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay, shot a bunch of people. At least 58 have been confirmed dead, and 515 are injured. And not previously a criminal, no traffic stops, none of this. And when you wake up, because I remember when I woke up, heard about all this stuff. I was driving my son to school this morning, and
that's when you first heard.
No. I heard about it earlier than that. But when I was driving him to school this morning, I was just like, man, this is awful. And I gave him a hug extra tight, and it made me think about Sandy Hook and all this, and about all these things that happened to us. And then that got me to thinking. I was like, okay, so where is because so many people get to talking about prevention, like how do you stop this and all that. And obviously there's talk about gun control. There's talk about, you know, bullet control. I mean, everybody has all these clever ideas, right? But what is a real solution to this?
In my opinion, it's just something you're going to have to accept. I used to be so against guns, and I'd fight with my friends that were gun owners, because I get it. The NRA is the most powerful law. I mean, it's just the most powerful organization. They pay off the politicians the most. I understand. I was so against getting guns. I don't have one in the house. You have a gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've owned guns. Okay. So I'm a Second Amendment person. So do you believe that we should own guns or not?
Yes. I was totally against it, but it's like the cat's out of the bag now. Everybody has a gun. The good guys have guns. The bad guys have a gun. You have to have a gun. Me and Hilda talked about it this morning, because I would never in a billion years harm anybody I love or myself. But I have a short fuse. I never want a gun around the house. Because also, you know, a lot of it is mental illness, man. That's what it is.
Yeah, but here's the idea, though. So I'm a Second Amendment guy. I believe that people have the right to own guns, that you should be able to, and I'm not with the government regulating too much stuff that we do. But as I get older and I think about it, and we look at all these mass shootings that have happened, right? No, this is not President Trump's fault. This is not President Obama's fault. This is not any of these people's fault. This is just the temperature of what's going on in the world.
How can anybody blame you cannot blame a president. It's just, one of my friends this morning, he's a great guy, but he's already starting with this is all Trump's fault. He sets a tone for it. No, these are men. What's weird about this guy is, did you see the interview with his brother?
Yeah.
They have no idea where this came from. Yep. I mean, if it's true that he converted to Islam and
no, that's not true.
Okay, because I don't think ISIS would take credit for something so soon. I mean, can you imagine if they take credit for it and it turns out that this guy has nothing to do with ISIS? They would lose all credibility, like they have any in the first place. But this guy, nobody saw it coming. I mean, how do you? You know, you can always tell, if somebody's. There was a kid that unfortunately committed suicide at our kid's school. He's in 8th grade. Same thing. Everybody said he was the happiest kid. He read a paper in school about how happy his life is. How do you know this could happen? We talked about it before we went on. How did this tie into sports?
Yeah.
You asked me, and I got it right away. I said somebody could walk into my little league, Northridge Little League, with a gun and start shooting. What the fuck can we do?
Yeah. Well, that goes back. So before we go there, right? So the question is, what can we do to prevent it, right? Because people say, "Oh, take everybody's guns away." No, hold on. Okay. Here's the thing: is I think that you have to look at minimizing, right? That even though I am a Second Amendment guy, I think that as I've gotten older, I've realized, I'm like, hold up. We also, at the same time, have to ensure that we are protecting the individuals in this country, like the majority of us, because mind you, the majority of people can own guns without doing something terrible, right? But there are a portion of people who cannot, like they just don't do the right things for whatever reason.
And that'll never change.
And then so you look at restriction. So you look at restriction in terms of what types of guns that you can own. Because I get that, because I've shot semi-automatic rifles, I've shot automatic rifles, I've shot sniper rifles, all this stuff at military bases and all that. And I get it. It's fun. It's something cool to do. I've even taken my son shooting.
Okay, right? and I will get to my shooting range story in a little while, but go ahead.
But now, as I've gotten older, I've started to think, I'm like, wait, hold up. Should we restrict the type of guns that people own? Because in terms of minimizing damage, so that imagine if this dude could only own a handgun.
Right. That's what I'm going to ask you. Why does anybody so I'm naive when it comes to guns. Why does anybody need a semi-automatic? What other than to have fun? So the whole point,
yeah, I mean, it's fun to shoot them. I
mean, rent them at the shooting range. I don't get it. Why does anybody need and like I said, I understand the love for guns and everything. I just don't. Why does anybody need? Even if you go kill a fucking deer,
I mean, we don't. I mean, I don't necessarily need a 7-seat SUV that has extra room in the back and all that.
Yeah, but you can't. You're not going to kill people with that. But a semi-automatic, like, what reason does a person have to have a semi-automatic gun? Like, I just explain it to me.
Because they want it. I mean,
I want 17 Playboy centerfolds in my house. I'm not going to get it. Maybe 12.
So we want things in this country, and we can have it.
But those things kill.
Okay,
this is different. A handgun, yeah, he would have killed. First of all, it's really if you think about it, all those and there's going to be more that died. 58 dead is nothing. I mean, it's a lot, but it could. I don't know how it wasn't.
You're saying that it could have been.
It could have been hundreds.
Yeah.
Like did you hear? You saw the video.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll find out. He probably shot 10,000 rounds.
No. Well, they don't know quite yet how many but he had 10 guns.
I mean,
he had 10 rifles in the room, and that's why I say yes, I'm pro guns, but at the same time, I think that when you read the Second Amendment, right, the Second Amendment actually says, hold on, I'm going to read it to you verbatim,
and I'm going to move the camera over a little bit because
it says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And people, I am like, I know that we always have this debate about guns right after a shooting, right? But, and yes, the whole thing, guns don't kill people, bad people with guns kill them, kill people. So I believe in that, but I also believe in that the temperature in the world and temperature in the country has changed. So is that these mass shootings are increasing, right? It's increasing. So now we have to protect the public's interest, because these semi-automatic weapons, right? They're actually not set up to be fully automatic. However, it is easy as jailbreaking your phone to turn a M4, a Sig Sauer, a Colt AR-15, a Ruger SR-556, or AR-7. It's easy to make those semi-automatic guns into automatic guns. So when we get into this gun debate,
go ahead.
I don't understand like how there is any pushback from people saying, all right, the Constitution was, when the amendments were made, it was a different time. It was different things going on in the country. So we have to adjust with that. And when you have, like, I'm just going to read you guys a list of the mass shootings. Like, these are shootings of over 13 or more people, right? There's last night / today in Las Vegas. There is the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. Yeah. There was the Virginia Tech shooting. There is that was in 2007. There's Sandy Hook in December 2012.
I have my doubts about that, but go ahead. No, we'll say that for another day.
I will punch you in the face.
wait,
I will punch you in the damn face.
Like today?
No, I actually know somebody whose kid got who was their family member's kid got hurt in that. I will accept no like Sandy Hook is fake.
My neighbors went to Sandy Hook, and we'll say that for another. I don't want to talk about that, but in a day like today or last night, you see everything on a cell phone. I need that for me. That's what I need as proof. Like you cannot deny yesterday happened. But let me just tell you something. When I went to Israel in 1987, I'll never forget. I got on a bus and there was a soldier there with an Uzi, just like it was nothing. And then I go to the next bus and then in a restaurant, and all these soldiers have Uzis there. And there's rarely any crime in Israel other than the stuff being the rockets and all that stuff. Why don't we have that here? Soldiers, we should have soldiers walking, not on every street corner, but like Disneyland, there should be soldiers.
See, but okay, so I've been overseas and I've seen it where you have armed military people all around the place, right?
Yeah.
That will not prevent.
It won't prevent, but it might cut. Instead of 60 people getting killed, 11 people are getting killed.
Okay, or is a more simple solution just to regulate what kinds of guns that people can own, because they're already regulated on some level. You can no longer own rocket launchers, flamethrowers, grenades.
But don't you think that will there be a powerful lobby against that too? I mean, the NRA. Like I said, I plead stupid on this because I don't know that much about guns. I don't want to know about guns. I fucking hate guns. But now it's a necessary evil. You have to have it. Like, if you don't have a gun in your house, it's like asking. You just have to have a gun nowadays. There's no two ways about it. But there's going to be a ways. Okay, if you say put restrictions on it, you don't think whoever has a will, but there's a will, there's a way. If somebody wants to do a mass murder, they'll get their hands on it.
No. I know. See, but then there's the issue. What they initially tell you is that these mass murders, that they are people who bought guns illegally, right? That a lot of them. That's what they will tell you. But isn't the fact that you can buy them legally? So then, if you can buy them legally, people who see people who have them, they're like, okay, I'm assuming that they bought a legal gun. But now imagine if it were banned or outlawed, then people would. If people saw other people with it, they would report them or something like that.
But still, let me read this. Nevada does not prohibit the transfer or possession of assault weapons, 50 caliber rifles, or large capacity, that's a fun music again, ammo, magazines. Local law enforcement issues concealed handgun licenses. Open carry is legal without a permit. Here's the other thing I don't like. Nevada has a stand your ground law. You know what that means, right?
Yeah. I'm not.
You mean if somebody says, "You dumb Jew, I'm going to kill you"? Oh, fuck. You can defend yourself. The whole, what was it? Orlando's, Florida had one.
Yep.
What was there?
That's happened a bunch of times.
But it's not stand your ground.
Yeah,
it's called something like
yeah. But it's go
ahead, George.
See, I mean, and that's why I don't understand people who fight against gun, like in terms of what you have to do to buy a gun. Like, you should not be able to buy a gun if you have been convicted of a violent felony. If you have been convicted of domestic violence, you have because people kill their wives all the time. Like, so
wait a minute, you cannot sell a gun to a felon.
No. What I'm saying is that there are people who are mentally ill, diagnosed mentally ill, who can buy guns.
But how do you know? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about guns. I don't know how could a mentally. Okay, how does it work? So a guy goes. Let's say a mentally ill guy goes into Big Five and wants to buy a gun, right? They do a background check.
It depends on what state that you're in.
We'll say California right now.
Okay, so California, when you buy a gun here, you buy your gun. Whether if you go to a regular gun store, mind you, there's also gun shows and trade shows, by the way, where they don't do background checks on the same level.
It shows you how much I know. I said go into Big Five and buy a gun.
No.
I know they sell them there, but
you can at Walmart and Big Five in other states.
Okay,
you definitely can.
Do people actually go into like Big Five?
Yeah.
Actually, Big Five in my house had
why do you think they have them? Because people go in there and buy them.
But I'm saying, so let's say me, for example, if I had a short fuse or
you have to wait 10 days.
Okay.
You can't go pick up the gun that day.
I know, but I'm saying the guy that sells it to me or the background check. And so right now, like I'm just, it's an example. I hate the United States. I hate Donald Trump. I hate what's going on in the world. How are they going to know? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take out as many government officials as I can. How are they going to know if they sell me a gun? I don't understand.
They can't.
They can't.
So that's why I say
it'll never end.
You can't prevent this, right? Because you can't prevent what happened today. However, right, if the guy only had a handgun, then he has to go down there in the crowd of people and shoot people, and the likelihood that he kills 58 people is low.
Right. But I don't know, like I said, it's already the cat's already out of the bag. What are you going to do? Take everybody's semi-automatic rifles, all the bad guys that have semi-automatic rifles? What? It's too late.
Okay, so in the
future going forward.
Yeah, but the idea that people in their homes are actually going to use their semi-automatic weapons to go fight somebody is unrealistic.
But then what happened today, there could be somebody at home who's got a screw loose that has a semi-automatic rifle and decides to go to Dodger Stadium when they play whoever in the playoffs and start unloading on people. I just don't understand. This is unfortunately and very sad.
There is the idea that people say that if everybody owned guns, then less people would get killed because they would be able to defend themselves.
That's what I'm saying.
That's not true though. It's not true because you don't act because it's not a deterrent. Like if somebody else,
let's say Columbine, not Columbine. Sorry, the movie theater. Where was that? Colorado.
Yeah.
Somebody in the movie theater has a gun, right? Yep. So instead of that guy going and killing, I don't know, 14...
but you can't reload as fast. Okay.
What are you talking about?
No. Somebody said you can shoot a single shot like a handgun as fast. However,
are you kidding me? Whoever said that, like seriously, we know.
So semi-automatic rifles hold their magazines come with 30 that hold about 30 rounds and easily upgrade them. You can buy off market for 100 plus. And I know that all soft targets are vulnerable, but here's the other question: how it hits home for me and you, for everybody else, is this could happen to you. Are you more afraid today and more concerned about what's going to happen to you, your family, your wife, kids, all this stuff every day that you walk out of the house? And I will tell you, I am.
See, you asked me the first thing when I walked in that door, like, are you surprised by this? Are you shocked? I said, I can't believe it. Well, are you surprised? No, I'm not surprised. Now it's like, like the last thing that kind of surprised me was the whole thing that happened in Florida at the gay club.
Yeah.
Now when I woke up this morning, it's like I'm so desensitized. Like, yes, it's sad and it hurts. And I have my aunt and uncle live in Las Vegas. My cousins live in Vegas. We used to have a condo and houses in Vegas. And I was just talking to my wife, Hilda. We were at a baseball tournament. And I told her when the kids are old enough and we're on our own, I would love to live in Vegas. And she doesn't like Las Vegas because of the heat. But we were at a baseball tournament 3 weeks ago, and we were looking out the window, and you could see the Mandalay Bay right there. We were staying at the Westgate.
Yeah, Willow, you unlock
the door? Yeah, unlock the door.
Excuse me. Yeah, so...
So we're talking about how are you surprised?
Yeah. So are we surprised, and do you feel more or less safe going forward? And I will tell you this, that I feel significantly less safe. I mean, because even when I go to the movies now, anybody that walks up and down those stairs, like during a movie, I'm looking at you.
Really?
Oh my God, I'm looking at people. I'm looking at people who come in the door. Like I don't feel as safe with people behind me. I want to sit all the way at the top of the movies. Where that used to be. I love going to the movies. So like that was like my place of peace, my place of safety, my place of calm, where I got to be all by myself, because I like going to the movies by myself even more than I like going with
me too.
People.
It's funny. I like to go by myself. But for me, so whenever things are wrong in the world and I'm depressed or down, whatever, I go to the baseball field, whether I'm coaching or umpiring, or I don't even think about what's going on in the world. And I was telling you today, the first thing you said, how does this relate to sports? And I told you this could happen at like our little league, and you said exactly, and it did happen at the governor in Washington. Where was that? Washington with the softball game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The scare. His name starts with an S.
Scarage or whatever his name is. It was on 60 Minutes last night, but even there, it happened.
Yeah. They were practicing for a softball game.
Right.
And that's where you look at all this and you say, so a comment just came in saying that he feels less safe in gun-free zones than he does in where people have guns. And I'm sitting there thinking, actually, like in the movies or anywhere, like I actually feel more safe when if I believe that nobody has guns or less people have guns. Like if I go to a concert and everybody has been like, and I feel like when I walk through the detectors and all this stuff, that it has been thoroughly checked. It
was yesterday, right? And look what happened. I'm sure. I mean,
but those are people inside the concert, inside the Route 91 concert. Those weren't. He was outside the concert,
and it still happened. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like it went. Ariana Grande had a concert in London,
where they bomb outside.
I mean, it's just like in Israel. I hate to say it. In Israel, it's just a way of life. Like it used to be a big thing. Like when rockets would come into Israel. And missiles. Now it's just like you yawn, drink another sip of your coffee. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. The same thing here. In 2 weeks, something's going to happen again.
Okay, but
you have to accept it. It sucks and it's sad, and you pray to God. That's why I hate the one place I don't like sending my kids to is school because I can't protect them there. I'm not there, and all this shit you hear about stuff happening in schools. But it's just every day now is just.
But that's else. Where where. They talk about the other mass shootings, and they're like, oh, they all happened in gun-free zones. Like you're looking at schools. So you had the nightclub, gun-free zone. Virginia Tech,
these guys are smart.
Gun-free zone. Sandy Hook. Even yesterday, even though Las Vegas is an open carry state, there are gun-free zones, and like it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, think about this: no gun that anyone in the crowd could have had, or at could have stopped this any sooner
because this guy was on the 32nd floor. Like this was a whole different kind of mass killing, like one we've never thought of, could have conjured up in our minds.
There is a guy who commented on Facebook saying that he used to work on the strip, and he's always kept something like this in the back of his mind. And you also have to consider what's going on, because are you less likely to attend a concert, the movies, a football game?
I'm not as quick to go anymore. I'm not. I'm just not that. I'm not the same guy anymore. I've become.
Yeah, no. I'm saying, are you less likely to go because of events like this?
Not because of events like this, probably not. But but do I look over both shoulders 1,000 times, like you said? Like I am so aware now. Like everywhere I go, whether even in a restaurant, I'll look. Yeah. With or without my kids and my wife, I will look, because you just never. People aren't aware of their surroundings. And once again, I'm not saying that for what happened yesterday, because who would know? I mean, they're all sitting ducks. Like what could you have done if you were there?
Nothing. Hide. Listen, I am more like, we get to talk about. So there is an element of what you said about where there's going to be some sort of security all over the place now and all that. I definitely believe that. But the biggest thing that I look at when I look at this whole situation, I look at how do I feel going to events, because we get to talking about ISIS, we talk about foreign terrorism, people from Muslim countries coming over here, all this doing terrorist events. I have to be 100% honest with everybody. I am actually more afraid of, or more concerned or aware of, domestic terrorists that look like me and you, or this old man, or the 23-year-old at Virginia Tech, or I am more afraid of those terrorists than I am a foreign terrorist, because I feel like the government does a pretty decent job of preventing mass attacks. So
For now.
Yeah, but I am more afraid. Like I feel like another 9/11 or something like that happening is less likely than.
And because of guns, everybody has a gun now, and it's our citizens that are killing our own citizens. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this guy, we'll get more information about this guy, but by all accounts, really, go ahead.
That was interesting. He said, well, that there is the idea that that crowds, whether they're armed or unarmed, are actually always sitting ducks.
Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Because with the inventions of drones, right? Imagine what could be done with the drone in terms of chemical and all that stuff.
I hate those drones.
But the thing is, Amazon's going to be dropping packages off at your house and with drones in a
packages now, and somebody will figure out how to get a grenade together, and
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that
we're not safe. Nobody's safe anymore.
We're
Switzerland, right?
This is the whole point of all these attacks, is to take away our safety and security. So the biggest question that everybody has is, how do we regain that safety and security?
We'll never regain it. We will never ever regain it. It's impossible. But you have until the day we die. This is going to happen all the time. Kids are going to die. Timothy McVeigh, all that shit.
Yeah, but you can't just wild west it and just say, "Oh yeah, it's going to happen." So what?
Let's. How many more? Look at you. Pulse nightclub, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Luby Cafeteria, San Bernardino. How many more killings is it going to take before we get the restrictions that everybody's talking about? I mean, how many more? Everybody says, "Oh, this is not a time to talk about politics," or that, and then by the time it is time to talk about it, they've moved on to the next hurricane or the earthquake. Yeah. What?
See, but this is where I would hope that most Americans agree with me on this, right? This is what
What are we disagreeing about?
No, me and you aren't disagreeing. Is I believe that that owning guns is our right? When you look at what the Constitution originally says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay, I'm cool with that. But I'm also aware that things have changed in the world, in the country.
That's very true.
And we restrict rocket launchers, we restrict grenades, we restrict all sorts of things. So I don't want to take people's guns away. I want to restrict the...
So from here on in, forget what's passed. You can't do anything about what's passed, right? So there's some lunatic in Wisconsin with 38 semi-automatic rifles. We can't do anything. We don't know he's got them.
Yeah.
But from here on in, we need restrictions.
And if you know somebody that has them, like, it's got to be a snitch policy, man. like
snitches get ditches, baby.
Hey, bro. Hey.
I know.
But thing is, and I know that the overwhelming majority of people. Oh, you guys are watching Unafraid. You guys, please share the feed, like the feed, continue the conversation. Me and George Reiser, Joey Heim here. We're talking about what happened in Las Vegas. In terms of, so at least 58 people have been killed, 515 injured, and this is not a terror. Sorry, he is a terrorist. However, he's not an Al Qaeda. He's not Al Qaeda. He's not ISIS.
Kim Moore said that they're saying that he's ISIS.
Well, I mean, we shall see. But if you're ISIS, right? Wouldn't you want to claim responsibility for this?
Yeah. Well, they're claiming it right now.
I know,
but if it's wrong, then nobody's ever going to take them. So when ISIS claims responsibility, I think they're 100%.
No.
No. I heard it this morning. They have never not taken responsibility for something that wasn't through them.
Yeah, but sometimes, but thing is,
this would be the first one.
There are some things when there's lone wolf activity, you can't say that it's not them if they claim it. Like they're going to look into dispute it.
The FBI is going to go so deep into this guy's computer files that they'll know. His girlfriend, who is she's overseas somewhere in London, I think.
Yeah.
She said she had no idea. She didn't see it coming. So let me tell you my shooting range story real quick. Okay. So a friend of mine, Alan Fine, he's a diehard conservative, loves his guns. So he took me to the shooting range in Los Feliz somewhere. Is that where you go?
No. I go out here in Nevada.
Okay. So we go there, and it's my first time. Actually, my second time. I went to there's a firing line in Reseda. So he takes me over there, and within 10 minutes, we do some shooting, and they said there's like you have to put your gun down for an employee to come around and check your guns. So we all put our guns down, and A couple minutes goes by and I hear, "Get your hands off my thing, you motherfucker!" I'm like, oh my God. So there's a guy like 70 years old in army fatigues. "Stand down!" He's yelling to the employee because he didn't like the way the employee handed his gun. And they start fighting with the machine gun. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm gonna die right here. Like the one innocent Jewish kid who goes to the firing range for the first time. Right? And let me tell you, some of those weapons. There's one. So there's the ones where you sit down, right, and you put your shoulder in the harness.
You sound so ungun educated.
I'm ungunned, dude. I don't want to know about guns. I don't like guns. I fucking hate guns. But you have to have guns now. So I'm shooting, and it almost takes my shoulder off. But anyways. I thought I was gonna. I swear to God, I thought I was gonna die right there. In the if you go to a shooting range, how do you know somebody? It was packed too that day for some reason. Some guy can just take his gun and shoot everybody.
You do have to assume that
the best in people, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
but it does cross your mind when you are at a shooting range.
That's all I could think about. So
that somebody could
5 minutes
lose
in,
their damn
I hear,
mind.
"Stand down, you fucking commie!" Whatever. That's what I heard. Yeah, and the guy in fatigue. Him and the employee were going at it because he didn't like the way the guy picked up it because this is checking your bullets or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I thought I was gonna die right there, dude. I thought that was it. My life is over. Last time I was at the firing range, by the way.
So I do understand how people think and feel and believe that our rights are not, that they don't want our rights infringed upon as U.S. citizens and all this, and they don't want the government to have so much control and say so over what we do as an individual, right? So I understand that, and I am for that. However, when you always have to, if you're in government especially, you have to weigh the good of people, right? I'm sorry, of the masses as opposed to the individual. So you want the individual to have his own rights.
Right.
However, you have to look at the good of the collective if you're in if you're in the government. And the good of the collective is for people to have their own rights. And yes, the government would love to control everything. So I do think that you have to fight against the government controlling everything. However, like, I don't know how to reconcile this situation without putting restrictions.
It's impossible. This
people.
is one of those things that there's no. I don't know if there's a solution. There's no easy solution, but there's no. You think there'll never be another mass murder? How about what are we in September right now? No, we're officially in October. There'll probably be, unfortunately, and I pray I'm wrong. There'll probably be another 3 or 4 of them. By the time the year's over.
It's entirely possible.
I mean, now you don't even need a gun. Now you got guys in vans and pickup in moving trucks driving into piles of people.
Yeah. So
it's never going to end. There's too much fucking hate in this world. The evil, I mean, in the 70s when I was a kid, I don't remember evil like this. In the 80s, I don't remember evil like this. Now,
it's become.
I don't blame Trump. I don't blame Obama. I don't know if it's movies. I don't know what the hell.
No. It's just become more in vogue.
I think it's mental illness.
Like when you look at
it's social media too. How about social media?
Correct. But when you look at Columbine in 1999, right? That was the first time that I remember a school shooting, and this kid got he got notoriety. He hurt people, a lot of people, and then that puts in people's brains, oh wait, hold up. This is an option. You know what I mean? But so it wasn't an option before.
Oh, everybody wants to be famous. That's what it is. But now
I don't think it's for fame. I don't think that Dylan Roof, when he shot those people in the church over in
he was different. He was,
yeah, but the thing is, I don't think that he wanted,
not him, but some people, like, you know, the most famous. Can you imagine? God forbid somebody shoots Trump or kills Trump. That guy's going to be a most infamous / superstar until the end of time. People remember him like, oh, he saved the world. He shot Trump. John Hinckley shot Reagan. We can tell everybody whoever shot Sirhan, Robert Kennedy. He wasn't the president, but Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth. That's the easiest way. So now at least CNN, they're finally doing something right. They usually don't say the killer's name. They have to report it first. What's the guy's name from today?
His name is Stephen Paddock.
Stephen Paddock.
I mean, this is a 64-year-old man, no previous criminal. They have no record of him being in the military.
They said nobody knew anything about him, like barely any tickets. But the thing about this mass murdering, this is the first one that has hit home. No other one ever I've been involved with. But my friends, I have friends that were on Facebook that were at that concert. They, a girlfriend of mine, Julie Martin, she put a video of her over there, and then to see the bodies being taken out on the railings, it's just
okay.
This is the first one that hit home.
All right. I have a tough question for us. Right, I have a tough question.
All right, bring it, baby. By the way, thanks for watching, everybody. We're Unafraid. We're live on Facebook. We're on Periscope. We're on Twitter. Yeah. YouTube. Okay, so the real question is this. Here's the tough question for everybody: is do you believe that this shooting in Las Vegas will change things, right? Hold on. Let me because of who it affects, right? This is when you look at the recent mass shootings, you look at Pulse nightclub, gay nightclub. Yeah, right.
You had
and the shooter was a pillow biter, so there goes that one.
Okay, so
he was
that's a term that's not going to go over very
okay,
well. So you have San Bernardino.
I shouldn't have said that for this case. I apologize.
So you have San Bernardino.
I think that was not what it was, but okay.
Okay. You have Fort Hood. You had the Virginia Tech, the military base in I think Nashville, and I mean just a bunch of them, right? So the tough question is this. Do you think that because this is a country concert, hold on, a country concert Route 91, a lot of country artists,
yes,
folk artists, all this stuff. So like this hits white America, right? So do you? I mean, like white middle America. Like, so do you think? I mean, and mind you, like these are the same people who are very upset about protests with athletes and some of them, not all of them, pro-Trump, this and that. So like they are the majority right now in this country. So do you believe?
Oh, and by the way, somebody did say that a teacher from somewhere on Twitter said, those Trump tards got what they deserve. Like,
that's
just unbelievable.
So do you believe that this will cause some sort of change because of who it affects? Because we all felt bad for what happened in Orlando, but that didn't feel like it hit home because it's like, oh, they're the gay nightclub. But will it hit home because there are people from all walks of life, and this affects white America big time?
But I really think if it was a rap concert and that happened, the same outrage would be going on.
You think so?
Yeah, I really do. And this is kind of like this is such a cowardly out of all. I mean, going up to the 32nd floor, and this is the one where you could say it could have really been me. I'm not gonna. I won't be in. I've been at gay nightclubs, but I'm not gonna be at Fort Hood. I'm not gonna usually be at a gay nightclub. The Sandy Hook Elementary School, a cafeteria. This is like you're at a concert. You're outdoors. You think you're safe in Las Vegas. So I really think if it was a Jay-Z concert or black people were getting killed, I still think it would be. I would be as outraged.
No. I'm saying that
there would be as big a movement. Yes.
Okay.
I think so. You don't think so?
Well, I think that people would be equally outraged.
We're all Americans, black, white, like.
Oh, okay. So I believe that people are outraged, right? And that people would be outraged no matter who this happened to, but actual policy or political changes in gun laws or whatever, do you think it's going to be more likely that happens because of who this happened to?
We're really going to disagree on this because I think, like I said, if it was a rap concert, I think even more people would be like, okay.
But that'd be young people even. I mean, because you have to remember that rap concerts don't just attract. If it's a Jay-Z,
I was just thinking, he was on Saturday Night Live, and I was thinking that, like, dude, the guy's like 47 years old. He's still rapping.
Yeah, if it was Jay-Z and Justin Timberlake, like they sold out the Rose Bowl, if it had happened there, you have people of all walks of life there. So it's not like a black thing. Like
I know somebody
like hip hop is more of a young culture as opposed to
this is for all Americans, black, white. Like I know what you're saying. There's country, it's all white, and Most likely they all voted for Trump. I get it, but
no. I'm asking, do you think that because of that, it will
I think
more likely that change will happen?
I think if it was a black crowd or Latino, it would have been the same outrage.
No. I mean, in terms of actually getting laws changed.
No, that's what I mean. By the lawmakers. Yeah. I'm saying by the lawmakers.
So the NRA is super powerful,
the most powerful
in our country.
Yep.
And yes, protecting our rights is very important, but shouldn't we also protect mass shootings? Okay, so if he decided to go down there and shoot those people, we all agree that we can't stop that.
No.
So the question is, if he were only limited to owning handguns,
of course,
58 people would not have died because there are law enforcement people down there. He can't shoot you up from a window. 2, 3, or 300-400 yards away.
Yeah.
So he can't hit you there. So wouldn't you say that it is that, like, instead of 58 people dying, 17 people died?
Absolutely, I know, but nobody would take. I mean, he wouldn't. If he had a handgun, though, you have to also understand he wouldn't be all the way up there. He would come down and he would start shooting people and spraying them that way.
Yeah, but it's less likely that he could have killed 58 people.
But what can we do? That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, make the restrictions harder, and good luck not getting those guns in the wrong hands. I just don't.
Okay, but the thing about it though is that we have this notion in our country, and people who are gun owners. Mind you, I support the Second Amendment. I've been a gun owner for a long time. So, at what point in time, like, do we say, all right, these semi-automatic weapons that can be easily converted into automatic weapons should not be owned by the general public the same way that rocket launchers, grenades, and things like this should not be.
I'm for that. Let's vote tomorrow on that. I say so, and I know I have friends that are like gun enthusiasts, and they're not going to be very happy with me. I just don't understand why people have to have semi-automatic weapons. You want to have a gun to protect yourself?
But people don't use semi-automatic weapons to. So people don't use semi-automatic weapons to protect themselves against, like.
So, but then why do they want them so bad? There's people that say, "No, I want my semi-automatic weapons." So what are they gonna do?
because they're fun to shoot, fun to use. I've used them. I've shot them. I've shot rifles. I've shot sniper rifles.
So
I've shot
up until this guy went crazy last night, he thought the same thing. Oh, this is so fun! Like his brother said, he's not really into guns. His girlfriend. So what happened with that guy? He has a semi-automatic weapon. Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that semi-automatic weapons aren't used for protection. I mean, they're just not.
So what are they used for?
They're used for sport, and they're used.
What kind of sport?
Where if you go out and shoot, if you go out
rented from the firing range.
But that's like us saying that if you go to a lake, then to go have fun and go wakeboard and all that stuff, that you should rent a boat instead of being able to own my own boat.
Yeah, but a boat's not going to kill anybody. This guy had
a boat can't kill people.
No, a boat's going to kill people that are on the ocean, not people at a concert. This guy, by all accounts, was a normal guy. So he snapped recently, whether it's a month ago, 3 months ago. So if he had these guns, he didn't intend. I guarantee you, 3 years ago, he did not intend on doing what he did today. But he has a semi-automatic.
You have no idea what the man intended to do.
Well, he would have done it already. Why did he pick October 1st at 10 o'clock? He
might have been thinking about it and just got ready.
But mental health gets worse, right? We agree. If you're mad at the world, or it just gets worse, and the buildup gets worse until eventually you snap. So that's what I'm saying. There's so many people at homes right now that have semi-automatic weapons. Man, it's hard to say that. Yes, you're using it for a sport now, whatever that sport may be. I still don't understand, but you never know when that intention can go.
But the overwhelming majority of people who own guns and own semi-automatic rifles.
I know, but it takes one. It takes two. It takes 5 out of 100.
No, I'm just giving you the opposition to this. Is that it's not guns that hurt people. It's the wrong people with guns that hurt people.
I know. So how do we get it out of their hands? And moving forward, how do we make sure why do they sell semi-automatic weapons?
Because people want them.
That's the problem. I know they want them because they can get them.
Same reason why they sell Slurpees this big, even though it's bad for your health.
But that's not going to kill. If I drink a Slurpee this big, it's not going to kill 48 people. That's what I'm saying. No, it's not gonna. Come on.
Could.
If I bring a Slurpee like that, it's gonna kill 48 people.
No, it's not very hard to obtain fully automatic weapons because these semi-automatic weapons, whether it is the M4, the Sig Sauer, the Bushmaster, Colt 45, any of this, they are semi-automatic weapons, and it's easily upgraded. Like, you can watch it on YouTube. It's just as easy to jailbreak your phone as it is to turn a semi-automatic rifle into an automatic rifle.
Somebody will sell it to somebody, right?
Huh?
And tomorrow somebody will sell, if a 25-year-old kid who's mad at the world goes into Big Five and wants to buy a semi-automatic weapon, and they'll wait 10 days and sell it to them.
These magazines hold 30 rounds, but you can easily find an off-market one that'll get you up to that'll get you up to 100 at least.
Okay, well, I mean, so, what's the use? That's what I'm saying. Why does somebody need 100 bullets? Just explain it to me. Why does somebody need 100 bullets in a semi-automatic? Unless you're a soldier, I get it. If you're a soldier, you want 500 rounds. But why do you need that many rounds if you're just a citizen?
Okay, so just because you want it, this is America. I'm free. I can have what I want. That's why.
And so these things are going to continue to happen. They're going to keep selling them, and it's going to get in the wrong hands. It's going to get into somebody who got pissed off. He got cut off by somebody, and he's going to go walk into a school, God forbid, and, they sell them.
And then we talked about how this relates to sports, right? Mm-hmm. Sports. And because I go to a lot of sporting events, whether it's like at the Rose Bowl, UCLA, Colorado, or whether it's the Super Bowl, whether it's the Lakers playing, whether it's whatever, or just locally, I go to my kids' baseball games. We just played in a tournament in Las Vegas and Nebraska where there's thousands of people around on different fields in the same area. So regardless of where you are, that these things can happen. Aurora, you can be in the movies chilling. So are you less likely? Because I know that I try not to let these things affect my life. However, it does affect how I think about it. Right. And the fact that I look at it, that some of these terrible things are possible. I know that when I walk out of my house, when I drop my kid off at school today.
Yes.
I gave him a hug before he got out of the car, and it just hit home even more just today because I thought about Sandy Hook after I was thinking about this. I was like, wow, this could actually be the last time that I see my kid. I mean, just because something could happen to me, something could happen to him at school. Like, this could be the last time, and like, God forbid that it does.
See, the one thing about me, the camera moved again, and I know we're almost done, but for me, every day I tell my kids 1,000 times a day that I love them, like, and Hilda. So they know. Today, actually, something happened for the first time. It's funny we're talking about it. Juju, my son, Talia came upstairs, gave me a kiss and a hug and said goodbye. And Juju, because my wife was running late as always, for the first time didn't come and say goodbye to me. And it bothers me so much. Like, it's still like a hole in my heart. Like, it's just the little things. Like, coming upstairs, they always kiss me before they go. If I leave the house with the kids, I don't make them, but they kiss Hilda before they leave. So for me, it really bothered me, and it's still like a hole in my stomach that Juju left to go to school.
Yeah,
and didn't say bye, Abba.
And something could have happened.
So
we just got a comment.
Okay,
he
go ahead. I'm
said,
gonna fix the camera again.
He said, "You guys won't talk about that. This dude was a nut job liberal who favored Antifa." It doesn't matter. It does. Do you understand? It doesn't matter.
Is that what people are saying?
Yes. It doesn't matter. So no, hold up. No, somebody else said it. And then they said the shootings only happen in gun safe zones. Do you understand that it would not have mattered if anybody had a gun there? Do you understand that gun zones don't prevent people from getting killed? No, soft targets are easy. However, even if everybody in the crowd had a gun, which everybody shouldn't, because you shouldn't mix alcohol and people having guns, first of all.
Especially at a country concert.
Any concert, guns and concerts don't mix.
Rap and country, those are the two places you don't want guns and alcohol mixed.
You don't want guns and alcohol mixed
anywhere. Right.
Anywhere.
But wait a minute, is it so Antifa, who I despise with a passion?
Yep.
I mean, they're
terrorists.
They are the domestic terror right there, Antifa. So if this guy whenever there's an Antifa riot, those people need to be arrested and put in jail. Antifa a gathering. That's it. They're the most. How do you get away now with punching people in the face?
You can't actually arrest people until they do something wrong.
But they do something. They throw urine balloons at people.
Those people should be arrested.
Right,
I 100% agree with you.
And the Cal Berkeley police stand by and watch these people like terrorize. That's a matter for a whole different day. But George, sadly, it's never going to end. It's just like in Israel. I told you, when 9/11 happened and the Twin Towers collapsed. I remember thinking to myself like, this is how the people in Israel, where my father was born and my mother was raised as well, this is how they live every day. You never know. You better kiss your kids good night.
But that's what I'm saying is that this is taking away our safety and security, because that's done. What made it so great here is it's that done. You didn't is that remember those days when we used to
anything, go to school, ride our bikes, my parents who are super overprotective, I walk to school every day, probably a quarter of a mile.
Yeah,
every day back and forth. Now, there's no way. My kid's school is like a 10-minute walk from our house. I would never let them ever walk to school back and forth, ever.
Yeah,
would you?
I'm concerned about that as well.
I never knew. It's a
different
world.
It's weird because you have to live. You can't live in fear, though.
Like, not live in fear, but you just have to accept. Now, like I said, you're not shocked by this, right, George?
Yeah.
20 years ago, would you have been shocked by this? What happened today?
Yeah.
Now it's like
no,
when
you're still shocked, but it's not unbelievable.
I'm not shocked. Like when I watched it, the videotape, it made me sick to my stomach, and I'm sad. But it's like, oh, here's another one. Here's another one.
But this is where I will say.
And now people want numbers. By the way, this guy has the highest mass murder of all time, right?
Yeah.
And so somebody's going to want to beat his record.
Yeah, but this is where people get confused. Like, I'm a gun owner, so like let's not like get this confused on where I stand on owning guns. However, people are saying this was a fully automatic gun. These are fully automatic. Yes, it is easy to upgrade a semi-automatic gun to an automatic gun. Like it's on YouTube.
Wait a minute. So somebody says, Jimmy says, Joey, I can't understand how you don't understand why we need those guns. You being Jewish, you should know better. 2 words, the Holocaust. So
guns would not have. Do you understand? Because there are always people with bigger guns that would not have prevented anything.
And listen, I've changed my stance. I used to say I hate guns. They should get rid of all the guns, put them in a ditch somewhere and burn them. That's never going to happen. So I've come around. In this day and age, I think you have to not have a gun at your home to protect yourself is just silly.
I believe in that, right? Because if you bust through these doors, you're gonna catch some hot shit.
Except for that guy in Florida that shot his burglar in the back when he was running away and he got in trouble. This was years ago. I remember that story. But because he wasn't in danger of his life, he got like 20 years because he shot the burglar in his. But he didn't kill the burglar.
He paralyzed him. They have a 10-20 life in.
Right. But going back to what Jimmy said about the Holocaust, I understand. But if me having a semi-automatic weapon, how's that going to protect me if 400 soldiers come to my house and want to kill Jews? Like, it's not going to protect me. I'd rather them take me. I'll sacrifice myself than having these guys have the wrong weapons in their hands. It's just you can't. It's unavoidable.
See, I'm not against gun.
I'm against semi-automatic. That's what I'm against.
And fully, I just think.
Are you going to shoot a deer in your room? Like, if a deer breaks in, like 30 deer, like people watch too many Al Pacino movies, Scarface,
I just think that you have to look at it like this is my own personal belief. I just think that you have to look at it in terms of minimizing, in terms of
if they can
minimize.
Didn't they say they were going to
take people's guns away because it infringes upon our rights as Americans.
I'm not saying take the guns away. I'm not saying you cannot take the guns away. I remember when they were the Washington Bullets, they did a big thing where if you turn in your guns, when they changed guns for tickets or something. No, before they were the Wizards, they did a big thing and it was a good idea. If you turn in your guns, they'll give you like tickets to a game or something.
Yeah.
And dude, like 15,000 guns were turned in. I remember that. But the guy from the movie theater, was that Aurora?
Yeah.
James, whatever his name was. They said that they were going to pass laws and rules about more restriction, less bullets. I'm waiting. They haven't passed any laws yet. Have they passed any laws since the whole Sandy Hook thing?
Well, in California, there has been a ban on in terms of the way you're supposed to register your semi-automatic weapons, but most people aren't doing that because it's intrusive.
That makes me
violating
feel
their
safe.
rights and all that stuff.
Right.
So I'm gonna tell you this is that I am more afraid of domestic terrorists, like I said earlier, domestic terrorists that look like you, me, blonde hair, blue eye, black guy,
today.
Jewish guy. Like, I'm afraid of terrorists that look like me and you than I am of stereotypical Muslim terrorist. I am much more afraid.
Here's what I'm afraid of, and I'll give you a story that happened about a month ago. California Chicken Cafe in Encino. You ever been there on Ventura Boulevard? So I'm sitting there, and this guy. I wasn't sitting. There's a window over there. I was like 3 tables over, and this guy comes and he bangs on the window, and he starts like arguing with one of the guys eating, and he spits a loogie this big. The guy was so effed out of his mind. He was. You could tell he was. And then so the guy went out to go beat him up.
Yeah.
And I ran after him to protect the. And I was grossed out. I mean, the loogie was disgusting. But I went after and I went to protect the guy because that guy, he was a big dude that was eating in the restaurant. Because I felt so sorry. The guy's a sick guy. I don't even think the guy knew what he did. I swear to God, he was like talking to himself.
See, here's
mental illness is the problem. It really is. It's getting worse.
I will agree with that. Is that mental illness goes completely unchecked a lot of times.
People think that this person's crazy. It's mental illness is real.
Yeah, it is, and it does need to be addressed.
And social media, even with our president Donald Trump, and you guys know how I feel about Donald Trump. Even with social media, even this, I swear to God, 20 years ago, I said the end of the world is going to come through the computer, and I was right. It's all the tweeting, all the bullshit, all the bullying, cyberbullying. It's just getting worse every day. I went to a party yesterday for Talia's, my daughter, her friend, and so the girl's grandparents were sitting outside, and they're both Facebook friends of mine, but I don't know who they are. So the dad introduced me to the father-in-law, and he's like, Joey Heim? Yeah. He says, oh, Facebook Joey. And my friend says, oh, don't worry, there's Facebook Joey and there's real Joey. So, I'm telling you. So that's the problem. Like Facebook, you know how many fights I'm in on Facebook? Like, and these are people that used to be friends of mine because if I don't disagree with them about the whole thing with Melania Trump with the stilettos, you remember that? How pissed off people got? And I was like, oh my God, who cares what kind of shoes she's wearing? At least she made the trip. They are so mad at me that how can I defend Melania Trump? That's the world we live in now, and it's just getting worse. And what happened is sad and tragic, but people, you better accept it because, and today, like I said, this was the first one that hit home that I know people that were actually there at the concert. Yeah. I mean, and to see that stuff on Facebook, it's disgusting. And next week, if something happens where some guy shot 100 people at a Colorado or Rocky playoff game, I wouldn't be surprised. It would barely move.
Yeah, but we're getting to the point now where people are, I believe that people are really considering changing their habits because
gun people?
No. I'm talking about their attendance habits at places and all of this because it's dangerous out there, but it's weird because you can't live in fear, but at the same time you have to be responsible and real. That every time that you walk out of your house, that it's no longer just car accident, plane crash.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
Hit by a bus,
earthquake. You're absolutely right.
It's no longer like those aren't the things the only things that you have to consider anymore. Like you literally have to consider, wow, every time I step foot out of my house, or just staying in my house is dangerous as well. Yeah. So like you always have to consider, and there are more things to consider. That every day you walk out of your house that you aren't safe.
Nope. Do you feel okay? So, assuming we don't have to put it out there publicly, but if you carry a gun, would you feel safer? If you had a gun on your person all the time, would you feel safer?
I will tell you this.
By the way, we got a lot of viewers today. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. At first, I said, George, we probably shouldn't do the show because everybody's going to be, following what's going on TV with it. He's like, no, dude, this is the day we got to come in and talk about guns. And so far, it's been our most watched show, I think. So thank you.
I will tell you this, is that when I was playing in the NFL, I would literally ride around in my car. I would have a gun sitting on my lap some of the time, or I would have it. I had this little compartment in my Benz that was that I could just reach and get it pretty easily. I would keep it loaded, one in the chamber at all times, and it made me effectively feel safer, right? But the numbers and the stats, because when we get to talking about stats, right, we get to talking about stats when it comes to black people killing people, how many people killed by police officers, how realistic is this, all this stuff, right? So we get to talking about stats, and we care about stats when it comes to things that matter to us, right? But the reality is that the stats show that you are more likely that you aren't actually safer because you have a gun. It can make you feel safer, but
that's a lot.
Yeah, no.
That's a lot.
No, I'm saying is that it can make you feel safer, but whether or not you are actually safer, the numbers don't support that.
Right, I agree with that.
So even though I used to carry like all the time, I mean, I was living by the 50 cent. If I don't have a pistol with me, show I got a knife, fam. I mean, like
okay, wait. I have a question for you. So you said you feel
okay.
safer.
Hold on. Like I will tell you now, I have a knife on me.
Okay,
I have a knife on me right now. I carry a knife pretty much all the time.
Really?
Yes.
I never knew that. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe they'll do my son's circumcision January 1st.
Weirdo.
But wait, let me ask you a question real quick. So, let's say you're back in Northwoods Little League, okay? Yeah. Would you feel safer if you knew there was a cop there at all times with a gun?
Yes.
So you would feel safer?
Yeah, I would feel safer.
But would you be safer? Probably.
Probably, yes.
Okay, in that instance, you would?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you feel safer knowing that you have a gun in your home than if you wouldn't?
Yes.
See, I agree, and that's why I was opposed to guns. Just not having one in the house now is just you have to have one. But I'm afraid. Are you afraid? Okay.
However, though, I am not under the. I'm not disillusioned enough to believe that me having a gun at home could not result in something bad happening at
just
home,
beat me to it.
like with my kids or anything like that.
So Phil Hartman, the legendary Saturday Night Live comedian, remember how he died? They had a gun in the house, and his wife completely snapped one day and killed him in the middle of the night and killed herself.
Oh my God! And then a Packers assistant coach a couple years ago, his son ended up.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it happens a lot.
Was that an assistant coach?
Yeah, it was the assistant coach. It was the I think it was the defensive coordinator.
Sherman.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait a minute. So that's what I'm afraid of. Why I don't want a gun in the house. The most horrific stories, and it's happened to my friend, and his brother was killed, was playing with the dad's gun.
Yeah.
So are you afraid of that?
Of course.
So I'm sure you keep it in a place where. Do the kids know where it is?
No.
Okay. Do they know you have one?
No.
Oh wow. Are you going to tell your son is 11? Are you going to tell him soon? What's the age you're going to tell him? I know I'm putting him on the spot, but this is...
Maybe like 16, 17.
Wow, really? No, he'll ask you before that. If he asks you, would you lie to him?
I did lie to him when he asked me. Just because I don't want him...
He's a little too young right now. 13, though.
But thing is, I've taken him to go shoot guns, though, before. I've taken him to go shoot guns twice. So, and...
I think that's smart.
And the reason why I did it is because... I don't want him to be afraid of guns.
Right.
And like I want him to be able to see a gun, not be afraid of a gun, and also like to know that this is not a toy, and also how to use it properly. That way, if you do some kind of way have to encounter this on some level, you don't shoot yourself and you don't shoot anybody else. So like he knows how to take the magazine out. He goes, he knows how to lock it. He knows how to work the mechanism of a few guns. Right?
I think I got to take Juju.
And it is important to me because you live out in the world. And also, if for some reason, like he on any reason had to defend me, his mom, my wife, his brother, sister, any of that, If it came down to that, like if he got kidnapped or something or whatever, and he took I mean, like, I know these are far-fetched things, but I just want him to feel comfortable. Like, hold up, I know how to use this. And I'm not a.
What is the age that you can buy a gun? 21?
No, 18.
Jeez. And what's the age that they'll let you shoot? You said you took him to the firing range,
yeah.
Right? How old do you have to be?
There's not an actual age for it. Well, some firing ranges have ages, some don't, but you have to be, if you bring a kid, they have to be accompanied by an adult. Like, each kid has to have an adult. Like, I can't bring, like, me and my 4 kids. Like, I have to bring me plus 3 other people.
Oh, and then each kid. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. So you guys, thank you guys for joining us today. Unafraid. I appreciate your time.
Our prayers are with everybody in Vegas. Like I said, I know going through Facebook, there's many friends I have that know people that were shot, none killed yet. But a girlfriend of mine that I was telling you about before, her friend was shot twice in the butt, and he's having emergency surgery. And they had to give his wife scrubs because she was covered with blood. It's just, you know. Wait, one more thing, by the way. Are we still on? You know, what I really feel sorry for are the people that are alive as well. You know, how, they're never going to forget that.
It's remorse. It's the survivor's remorse.
Survivor's remorse, guilt. That their eyes are never going to be able to unsee that. So, I know I pissed off a lot of. I don't know if I really pissed off any gun owners. Did I say anything bad? Just that they shouldn't have semi-automatic rifles, right? That's what I think.
Yeah. So like I said, I believe in our Second Amendment. I understand why people feel the way they do. I think that the temperature in the world and everything has changed, so we have to look at protecting everybody, not take the guns away, but restrict guns.
One more thing, since we might never talk about this again. Hopefully there'll never be another one of these for a while. Why do we allow ISIS? There has to be a way we could block them from people's computers. There has to be a way, because, I mean, their networking is strong. I mean, like, if they got this guy.
Hold up, though. I mean, but the other thing that you have to remember is that most people who are operating in terms of ISIS and all this stuff, they're not using Internet Explorer, they're not using Safari, they're using.
But how are these people? How are they finding these people? Like, I don't.
What are you talking about? They use Toro. They use.
So tear down. I mean, there's got to be a way. Like, I know, like, right now, if you go on WhatsApp, like, it's not. You know what WhatsApp is?
Yeah.
You can't trace text messages that are erased.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess it's like the steroid makers. They're always one step ahead. I just hate that ISIS has such influence.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's that people go seek them out. Like yes, they're so.
But they have recruiting tools.
I know, but I'm talking about here in the United States. That people seek them out. They seek information out. Over there, they recruit kids that don't have options. Then they've manipulated their religion. They've manipulated their beliefs and thoughts because they don't have stuff and understand what's going on out in the world. That's why they send those kids out to fight instead of go doing it themselves.
That's true.
Yep. All right, you guys. See you guys tomorrow. All right, peace out.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.